Hello all of you and welcome to the second session of size exclusion chromatographic technique. In this session we are going to deal with the theory and materials for size exclusion process. We have seen the principle of size exclusion process in session 1. What was the principle? Kindly recall. Principle is that you have porous materials. Okay, these are gel beads which have pores in them. So the compound of your interest is separated based on its molecular weight. The larger molecular weight compound do not enter the pores, they are going to come out first. The smallest ones are going to enjoy being inside the pore, they are going to come out the last. And in between range are going to come in between the largest one and the smallest one. This was the principle. Now let us look into theory aspect of the size exclusion chromatography. Look at this diagram. Okay, so this is the column, circular gel beads which have been packed into the column. Okay, so they have to be they can be two types, they can be aqueous or non-aqueous. Only depending upon the solvent you can call it as gel filtration or gel permeation chromatography, but the principle and theory in both the techniques are going to remain the same. When you look at the pores in this gel beads, check here, it'll look something like this, the gel bead. So the gel bead will be synthetic or natural. We shall see the types later on in this session. So these beads will have cross-linking like that of a coir. ಈ ತೆಂಗಿನಕಾಯಿನ ನಾರು ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಆ ಥರ. So they will have cross-linking. So when you have cross linkages, there will be voids, there will be gaps. These gaps are filled with liquid when you soak it in that particular solvent. Okay, so you have to imagine this gel matrix to be like this, circular, and it will have interconnections or cross linking, creating there may be smaller gaps or there may be larger gaps or there may be much larger gaps. Okay, this is how it looks. So when you load the sample here and you run it with the solvent, there will be separation initially. See here, there will be separation. Slowly it goes on separating. So until the largest molecule reaches first outside, there will be only solvent coming out. See here, there will be only solvent, pure solvent coming out. Okay, so when there is only solvent coming out, you will not have any signal. There won't be signal because there are no compounds in it. But when your sample gets on separated, it gets separated, and when you collect it, when you start collecting, then you're going to get signal. I told you, see the larger particles, see this is the particles which you want to separate, these are the particles. So here you can see these are larger and these are smaller. There are two particles which you want to separate. So these bigger particles are not going to enter into your matrix. They are going to come out first without entering the matrix. Whereas the smaller particles, they find this void volume very nice. So they're going to spend more time in these void volumes and it will take larger time for them to come out. So the larger molecules have come out first, and after some time there will be resolution. Okay, the sample comes out first and then the solvent comes first and again, and then you have the smaller particles coming last here, which is collected here, and then again solvent will come. If you pass this, if you have automated this system and you have connected it to a detector, what happens is, see here, you'll get a graph like this. So what comes out is the volume effluent. What comes out of the column is an effluent. Okay, the effluent volume is here and the amount of solute is here. Initially there is nothing coming out, so you'll have a flat peak. Later on you have this compound coming out, you'll have corresponding to how much amount it is, you'll have one peak. Then there is nothing, so there it flattens, and then you have the smallest one which is going to come out like this. Okay, so this is how your separation is going to occur. Let us look into the theory of this. So when you look at the column, I told you they are circular beads. So circular beads, the volume, okay, volume of the circular beads is Vt minus V0. What is Vt then? Vt is the total volume of the column, total, along with the beads and that of the solvent, is total volume of the column, Vt. What is V0? The volume which you're going to get after removing these beads. You're not considering these beads as V0. Okay, that is void volume. Void volume. Total volume of the column, void volume of the column. When you minus those, you're going to get the internal pore volume. What is the volume of these pores? Internal pores, that is VI. VI is given by Vt minus V0. Okay, I hope this is clear. V0 is void volume. Void volume is the volume outside the beads, or it is also called as mobile phase volume. Okay, the total column volume, it is the volume of the column along with the beads, and then Vt minus V0 is the internal pore volume, which is Vi, also called as stationary phase volume. So total column volume Vt is given by V0 plus Vi. Vi is nothing but Vt minus V0. Okay, so this is how it is. Vt is equal to V0 plus Vi. So check here, as a separation occurs, you have the peak. We have seen it in the earlier case, right? I told you. So until here there is no signal because only this mobile phase is coming out. Okay, that is void volume. V0 is coming out. After that, one sample is going to come out. That is VEA is coming out. VEA. Then again, nothing is coming out. And then this is VEB. So this is the total volume of B. This is the total volume of A. And initially when this A is starting to come out, this particular space is V0. So KD, okay, KD is given by VE minus V0 divided by VI. Okay, VI from the previous thing, we know that it is Vt minus V0. You're going to substitute that here. VE minus V0 divided by Vt minus V0 is K average. So distribution coefficient is equal to VE minus V0 divided by Vi. K average is VE minus V0 divided by Vt minus V0. So this equation is very important. Let us see why. So case 1. What happens when VE is equal to V0? Which means this volume is these both are same. When these both are same, it means that there is no separation occurring at all, right? So let us substitute here. VE is same as that of V0. Both are going to get cancelled. So 0 by any number is again 0. So KAB will become 0. Which means totally excluded molecules elute in one volume, void volume. Okay, there is total exclusion. There is no separation occurring. One void volume is going to come out. Case 2. When this minus this is equal to this minus this. So when this difference is equal to this difference, what will happen? KAB will be equal to 1. Which means small particles that enter all pores of packing are going to come out at that time when KAB is equal to 1. And hence it is called as total permeation. Initially, when KAB is equal to 0, it is total exclusion. When KAB is equal to 1, it is total permeation. And anything in between 0 and 1, okay, is called as selective permeation. In that selective permeation, intermediate size molecules are going to elute. Okay, so initially large sized ones are going to come out at KAB is equal to 0. Then smallest ones are at KAB is equal to 1. In between sized particles are going to come out between KAB is equal to 1 to 0. So this is the graph. Okay. So log of molecular weight versus elution volume. So elution volume or retention time, you can use both. But in size exclusion chromatography, we usually consider it as elution volume. Volumes are very important here. Okay. So there is a relationship between elution volume and log of molecular weight. Molecular weight. So you can tell what molecular weight compound you have obtained at a particular elution volume. Check here. Here there is no elution. It has started VA. This is V naught. Okay, V naught. And then the molecules are going to get extracted slowly like this. Slowly it's going to come out. And then it is going to reach this particular point. Okay, this particular point. So in between these two are going to come out VR1 and VR2. So V0 total exclusion occurs in this range. From here to here semi permeation occurs, and at this particular place there is total permeation. So at this place KAB is equal to 0, this is KAB is equal to 1, in between it is 0 to 1. So that is the theory behind size exclusion chromatography. So for a standard 3000 mm into 7.8 mm column with a total volume of 15 centimeter cube, all large molecules will elute about 6 cm cube and very small molecules will elute in 12 cm cube with intermediate sizes eluting between them. This is one standard column. So these are few general considerations regarding what the particle and the pore size should be, column dimension should be, column packing, flow rate and analysis. I'm not going to go through this. Let us look at this. What are the materials for size exclusion process? Materials are, we need a column packing, we need eluents. The column packings are usually gels. So what kind of gels we need? And the detectors. Okay, detectors. So the column packing are semi-rigid, cross-linked macromolecules or rigid. They may be semi-rigid or rigid. They are cross-linked macromolecules. Few examples are styrene divinyl benzene. This is non-water compatible, whereas water compatible are partially sulfonated polystyrene beads or polymer of 2-hydroxymethacrylate with ethylene dimethacrylate. So I shall cover the gels also here. So the column packing is a gel. So the gels form a 3D network, indicate by the amount of swelling. So more the cross-linking, more the swelling. We need the column to swell more. For example, when you soak rava, okay, rava is dry. When you soak it, it has to increase in volume. That is called as swelling. Why does it increase in volume? It will absorb water and increase in volume. More the swelling, softer your idlis are going to be, right? Similarly, more the swelling of the gel, that is more the hydration capacity of the gel, is indicated by more the swelling. More the swelling, you can easily tell that there is more three-dimensional networking, which means there is branching, lots of branching is there. So when it swells, it can allow the material which you want to separate to go through the pores, or else it will retard the particular compound from entering it into the pore. So you need this swelling. Okay. So zero gels of polyacrylamide, cross-linked dextran, agarose, polystyrene, silica, porous bead, styragel, all these are possible. So eluents, you can use toluene, tetrahydrofuran, chloroform, dimethyl formamide and dimethyl sulfoxide. If it is aqueous, then you can use aqueous solvents. Detectors, it is differential refractometer, spectroscopic detectors, or low angle laser light scattering instruments. Okay, these are the materials which are used during size exclusion process. So we come to the end of this session 2. In this session, we have discussed theory and materials for size exclusion process. Thank you.